Today we're doing lesson 5.2, interpret multiplicative comparison. That's a big word to say, multiplicative. Okay, so on page 13, it says represent times as many. So just a reminder, when we are doing times as many, or when you see the multiplication sign, you can read it as groups of or times as many as, okay? So, this shows Mai's cubes and Kieran's cubes. If you will recall yesterday, I told you guys when I taught this lesson in the last math series, Hema, I had, they would have a sentence and that you would just translate into an equation. So an example might be 4 times as many as 6 is 24. And then you're gonna, what are you gonna write down first? 4. And then what are you gonna write down for this? Times, and then 6, and then equals, and then 24. Okay? So you go in the exact same order as the numbers appear. So up here, it says Jada has 4 times as many cubes as Kieran. So they've only given us one number and the times as many as. What other number would we use for this problem? Corbin? 4. No, not a 4. They gave us a 4, but there's another number in this problem, but it's written where you have to kind of think it through. What do you think, Caitlin? 2. 2. How did you get 2?
Because it says that Jada has 4 times as many as Kieran, and Kieran only has 2 cubes.
We're going to replace Kieran with the number 2. Now, do we have 2 numbers? Yes. So, Jada has 4 times as many as 2. So, think about the other way we can say that, 4 groups of 2. So how many groups am I going to make? Shout it out. 4. So I want you to write down or draw what I'm drawing. We're going to do 4 groups. And each of those groups is going to look like Kieran's in that it's going to have 2 blocks. Okay? And so the equation that would go with this would be 4 groups of 2 equals what? 8. Okay? So Jada has 8 blocks. Okay, did you guys get that written down? Mm-hmm. Okay. Next it says Diego has 5 times as many as Kieran. What are we going to replace Kieran with? 2. So Kieran has 2, we know, and Kieran's blocks look like this with 2 blocks. But how many groups of 2 am I going to make? 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Notice that I'm not making a big long row just with 10 blocks in it, because this allows us to see how it breaks down, okay? So 5, Diego has 5 groups of 2, which equals 10. Okay? Next we have Lynn, who has 6 times as many as Kieran. We're going to replace Kieran again with 2. So how many groups of 2 do we need to make? 6. So this time we're making 6. Okay, so we just turned words into a diagram, into an equation. And that is the purpose of today's lesson, okay? To go from words to a diagram to an equation. Okay. Next page. Diagrams to solve multiplicative comparison problems. Here are 4 sets of descriptions. I'm going to change this from words to descriptions so I use the same language that they're using. So we have descriptions, diagrams, and equations. It says here are 4 sets of descriptions, diagrams, and equations that compare pairs of quantities. Match each description to a diagram and an equation that represents the same situation. Be prepared to explain your reasoning. Okay, so let's start with A. Lynn has 3 cubes. So, Lynn has 3 cubes. That's what it would look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jada has 2 times as many. So Jada has how many groups of 3? 2. Does that show what the description is?
Yes.
Lynn has 3. Jada has 2 times as many as 3.
Yeah.
So altogether, how many does Jada have?
6.
6. What picture or diagram would match with A? If we look at those pictures, which one matches with A? Kinley?
C.
Okay, that's the equation. I'm looking for the diagram. But yes, you're right. C does match with A. So we can write a C over here because it says 2 groups of 3 equals 6. What is the picture that goes with A? Chevy?
H.
H, that's correct. So what I'm going to have you do is next to the letter A, I want you to write an H and a C. And then we're going to cross out H and C because we've already used those. Okay? I know on the other page, when we get it all done, we're going to fill in our sets. But for now, we're just going to write the letters on in the box with the description. Okay, so B says Han has 3 cubes. So I'm going to change this to Han. And Elena has 3 times as many. So how many groups does Elena have? Shout it out. 3. I said groups, guys, not how many total blocks. So Elena has 3 groups of 3. So how many does Elena have? 9. Okay, so which diagram goes with this picture? Ariana? K, that is correct. So in box B, next to the letter B, write a K. And then cross out the K. Okay. And then which equation goes with B? Derek? I. So I'm going to make a note over here. So we have A, H, C, and then we have B, K, I. Okay, and make sure you've crossed out your I. Next, we have Priya has 5 cubes. So, I'm going to write Priya, and then show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Noah has 3 times as many. So Noah has 1, 2, 3 groups of 5, right? So how many blocks does Noah have? 15. Because 3 groups of 5 is 15. All right, so which diagram is going to go with D? Emma? E is the equation, so the picture. Okay, I'm going to give it to you because E does match it, but know that the diagram that I'm asking for is the picture. The equation is what you gave. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you though, Emma. E does go with D. What is the picture that goes with D? Jackson? G. Yes. Now it's different because they put them in a different order. They put the longer on top, but it still matches our picture, right? So D, G, and E go together. Okay, and then let's go down to J. It says Mai has 4 cubes and Diego has 4 times as many. So we're dealing with Mai, who has 4 cubes. And then Diego has 4 groups of 4. Okay, so which diagram goes with J? Mason? Diagram. L, that's correct. Good work. Because you've got 4 and then 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 4. So L goes with J, and what equation goes with J?
I have a question. You got that cross out G.
I did. Thank you, Chevy. Gentry, what equation goes with J? F, that's correct. So we've got J, L, and F. Okay, so over on the next page, we're going to write down our matches. A, H, C all go together. B, K, I all go together. D, G, E all go together. And J, L, F all go together. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so you have an assignment that is you're going to turn in for a grade here in just a bit. And it is going to be exactly like what we just did. Here's the thing though, you have your copy is black and white. So to help you see a little better, I'm going to put the color copy up here on the TV screen because I think it makes it easier to see. Okay, a couple of things before you start. The instructions say circle the statement, which is like the description, and the equation that show a comparison of Tyler and Alina's cubes. How many does Alina have? Everybody. 4. How many does, don't tell me, well, how many does Tyler have? 20. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. many groups of 4 does Tyler have, Mason? 5. 5 groups of 4 equals 20. So, you need to pick, Corbin, sit up. You need to pick one of these descriptions and one of these equations that match with this picture, just like we just did. Here's the thing though, if you choose this one, don't assume that it's this one, okay? If you choose this one, these don't match up. See how this has a 5 in it and that has a 2 in it, okay? So you'll choose one from the description list and another one from the equations list. They're not going to be on the same row. You see what I'm saying?
I know which one.
Chevy? Yes. So on your explanation, you're going to choose the one, Chevy, that matches the picture, okay? You're going to say, I'm choosing whichever one you choose because it matches the diagram. I'm choosing whatever equation you're choosing because it matches the diagram, okay? I'll check these before you turn them in, and then once you're completely finished, you'll work on page 35 in your workbook.